Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Monday, June 1st, 2015. I'm your host, Alexander Kalafi, and today we are talking about the not-so-secret Nintendo Direct that dropped yesterday, and the super surprising Nintendo Direct Micro that dropped today. I'm joined by Zachary Miller. Hi, Zach.
Hi.
And Donald Mick.
Hello.
You know what's so crazy is that this Nintendo Direct was 19 minutes. The one that came out today for North America had no build up at all. They just straight up released it on YouTube. And in my opinion, it is probably the best Nintendo Direct we've had since January.
What was in January? I don't remember.
That was the new 3DS reveal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was good.
I don't know. I would take Ludicrous Speed from April over some of the stuff in this one.
But wasn't that the one that was like 48 minutes long and most of it was nothing?
Isn't that most of them?
Most of them are like 37 minutes long instead.
Mm.
But no, I thought this was really good, and I thought that it was interesting that they were dropping this so close to E3, like just 2 weeks away from it. But I think the reason why they're doing this is to almost build confidence, say like, okay, we're getting this out of the way. Now think of all the stuff we're going to have when it's actually time for E3.
You don't think they're tempering expectations a bit?
I don't know. What do you think, Donald?
I think this is a lot of the stuff that would have come out in the press kit in previous years before they went to the direct format. So this gives them a chance to clear a lot of the things that we find out about just from reading what they drop on the press site. Now it's out in the open and we know about it, so it's not something we have to worry about going into E3.
Yes, because if you think about the way last year happened, Mario Party 10 was just dropped as like a press release right after the Direct. It wasn't even part of the digital event. And then you got like Devil's Third, which wasn't even really saved for anything. It was just information that just came out of the E3. They didn't really have a place for it.
I think IGN actually had an exclusive on that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But like that also just leaked out of nowhere. Like it seems like Nintendo is trying to completely control the message this way by having just sort of the calm before the storm right now, or at least the smaller storm before the storm right now, so that they can focus on Yoshi's Woolly World, Mario Maker, whatever new games they have coming, and Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, without worrying about like, oh, are we going to give this enough attention? Are we going to give this enough attention? So I think this is a really smart way to do things, and especially because E3 is like a week later than it normally is, this is almost like sating the appetite a little bit. What do you think? What do you guys think?
Yeah, why not? I agree. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the announcements that they had today were 3DS focused, which makes sense because you really want the Wii U to get all the attention at E3. Like handhelds get buried at that show, unfortunately. So you run all the big 3DS news out. We know about the wall of RPGs now, and then 2 weeks from now you come back with all kinds of Wii U content.
Right. So, like, CHIBI-ROBO, this announcement was never going to be in the digital event. Like, it's an exciting announcement that we're going to talk about in a minute, but it's one of those things that's not necessarily good enough for their 45 minutes, at least on a wide appeal level. And then you got, like, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, a super big deal, but maybe the fact that they're getting this in the Direct means that there could be another Pokemon announcement during the Nintendo digital event?
It is around the time that the CoroCoro magazine comes out where they like to drop these things, so we could see something.
Is CoroCoro Mag the second and a half week of each month? I always thought it was a little earlier, like the 7th or 8th.
It usually leaks around the 8th to 10th, but it releases somewhere between the 12th and 15th of the month.
Okay, sure. So hopefully all this lines up, and hopefully the fact that they're putting Super Mystery Dungeon here means that they have something even better for us at the proper Nintendo digital event. Because one of the things I was thinking about is that there are so many games that are coming out like in other territories before North America. Like in the Japanese Nintendo Direct, it came out that Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer is coming out on July 30th, which means that there's kind of a big gap in Japan in the holiday season where there should normally be something. I mean, I know the holiday season is slightly different for Japan, if not very different, but it seems like there's still like a 3-month gap in the fall that's not accounted for, and I think we're going to see whatever it's accounted for this at E3.
Unless Nintendo is stepping aside in Japan for Yokai Watch 3 and any number of Monster Hunter games.
So Monster Hunter X is this year.
Right, in Japan.
Right, in Japan. And Yokai Watch is also this year in Japan, which
Yeah.
are probably going to fall them. They're probably going to fall around that slot, if not very, very early next year. But Nintendo's got to have something. They gotta, I think. Right?
You would think.
That girl right there, who I'm pointing to. Let's all cross our fingers on that.
If not Metroid, then what? Right? Like it's because we already got the Kirby taken care of. I don't know how big HAL Labs is, but they put out the Box Boy, and I don't know if they'd have enough time to fully develop another Kirby game, but who knows? I hope there's Metroid or something, because it just feels like there's a gap right now.
Yep.
Anyways, let's talk about some of the specific announcements. The Chibi-Robo game that was announced yesterday for Japan, the side-scrolling platform where you're using like a Chibi-Robo's power plug to sort of tether its stuff, attack stuff, and there's the Chibi-Robo amiibo that's also part of that where it can turn into like Super Mario Chibi-Robo. That's all coming to North America in October, and the Chibi-Robo amiibo is only going to be sold as a bundled product with the game, which makes me think there's going to be plenty of these. Not necessarily. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're right. I think there'll be more than the normal amiibo count.
Right. It just, and I'm also feeling that way when it comes to Yoshi's Woolly World, because they're definitely going to do that bundle with the green Yoshi here. I think they're going to do plenty of the pack-ins because they know those have the highest chance of selling, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this game, and I have never beaten a Chibi-Robo game before.
I've never played a Chibi-Robo game, but because they all sound like Chore Boy crap, but this one sounds like an actual game.
Yeah, it looks fun.
So I'll probably get it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking I'll grab it if it goes up during the Canadian E3 sales. If they happen this year, I'll probably grab it that way. I'm just wondering though if it's actually going to be a card because I'm not sure how well Photo Finder did, but I had mentioned on Twitter that the amiibo was packed in, and somebody responded with, "Oh, what does this do to the digital buyer?" So I'm wondering if it's going to be like a $20 eShop game, and then when you get the package version, you get the amiibo and a download code.
I think, the game does look a little small, and not necessarily like in an intentionally offensive way, but it does look like something that on its own is not supposed to cost $40. So I think what they're going to do is they're going to charge $30 for the game on the eShop, and then they're going to charge $40 for the amiibo bundle. And then I think they're going to put it on a cartridge, because I don't think they're in that specific PlayStation Vita space that Sony is, where a physical game can just count as a digital code in a box, because it's not worth manufacturing the plastic anymore. I think Nintendo is going to make physical cartridges for this.
According to Sony, the Vita is not worth manufacturing anymore.
A legacy platform.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? That's so depressing. The PlayStation Vita is like one of my favorite systems ever. It's maybe top like 5 to 7, but it's disappointing how much that fell apart.
From my Vita.
Yup, and I'm still gonna play it when Persona 4 Dancing All Night and Danganronpa Kind of 3 comes out later this year.
Man, September is going to be crazy between those and Rodea and Mario Maker. Oh boy.
Yup. It's gonna be a wild month. Actually, this entire year, starting from summer, is a crazy time to be a Japanese video game fan. Because there's so much stuff coming. You got Day of the Sky Soldier on Wii U and 3DS. You got Yakuza. You got J-Stars. You got you got Mario. You got all Nintendo stuff, which is mostly inherently Japanese. And then you got Persona 4. You got whatever system you have. If you like Japanese video games, this is going to be a great year. But I digress. Chibi-Robo looks cool, and I want it. I would probably pre-order this game if it goes on a relatively easy pre-order before launch. But I don't think it's up for pre-order yet, is it?
Not yet. As long as it's up for pre-order by June 18th, I'll be good.
Okay, cool. So we talked a little bit about Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. They announced yesterday and sort of reiterated today that there's 20 playable starters. It's all the starter Pokemon from the 6 generations, plus Riolu and Pikachu, which not necessarily the greatest lineup. There's no weird one this time, like Skitty or Munchlax or it was Axew in the last one. But still okay. And then they really make up for it by quelling fears. This is going to be a full Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game, and more than that, they're going to include all 720 previously announced Pokemon. Maybe they'll include the I'm drawing a blank here, but the fire water type Volcanion that is not yet announced. So I think this looks cool. I really like Gates to Infinity, even though a lot of people don't like it. I'm still very excited.
Fire water type is Pokemon power to divide by 0. I mean, that's
it's a new type.
Great.
It's a new type combo. Which you know what, fire water is such a crazy type combination. I can't wait to see. Actually, no, I can wait just fine. It's just a cool thing. Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. There you go. Also first shown yesterday, the new 3DS Dr. Mario game was announced. Dr. Mario Miracle Cure, which is a really cool name. It's available for preload on the eShop now and will unlock on June 11th when the game releases. I don't know.
How much is this?
$8.99 for the US and $11.29 I think for Canada.
I might actually get it.
It looks good. It seems relatively fully featured and even includes a lot of the Dr. Luigi stuff.
Yeah, I didn't get Dr. Luigi because people said, well, it's Dr. Mario with Luigi.
Which is mostly what it is, yeah.
I like Dr. Mario. I just haven't played a Dr. Mario game in 20 years.
It's cool that Dr. Mario is a digital franchise now because that's exactly where Dr. Mario belongs.
Yes, absolutely.
This is definitely a game you want to have on the system, ready to go whenever. Especially now that they have, did I hear right that there's same system versus mode in this?
That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. I don't know for 100% certain.
Maybe it'll have interaction with the inevitable Dr. Mario amiibo.
Maybe. It's gotta.
Right?
Yeah. I feel the same way about Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. They gotta include the Pokemon amiibo there if they're not gonna put them anywhere else.
I mean, nobody's actually going to use Dr. Mario amiibo for Smash Brothers.
Right, this is Dr. Mario's 3DS game. What are you doing if you're not including functionality there?
I wonder if maybe they'll include a download code for Dr. Mario Miracle Cure with the amiibo. You tap it on the system and hey!
Oh.
That would be cute.
That would be cool.
What else? Okay, so there was this new level 5 localization. And of course, it's another level 5 localization, bringing something weird to America that doesn't necessarily belong there. Little Battler Experience, due on August 21st. It is a robot building RPG. I saw this trailer, and for the first 20 seconds, I thought it was a Super Robot Taisen game.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I first saw it too.
I
Yeah,
was like,
those
oh, they're bringing
Oh
this.
my
Yeah.
gosh, they're bringing Robot Tyson over here? Oh, no, they're not.
not a hope in hell. The one they showed in the Japanese Direct yesterday has Macross in it. That is an instant kill of any localization chances.
Okay. Even once they called it Little Robot Experience, I still thought for 5 more seconds, like, oh, that's what they're calling Super Robot Tyson in
Over
America
here.
now.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of cool. I like the concept that it's like two kids playing on a main game board, but when you finally go into battle, it's like your two robots are actually fighting on this miniature field, which is a cool battle concept. If the game is cool and I don't actually need to watch the Nicktoons anime, maybe if it's a reasonable price. Is this going to be eShop only? I bet it's going to be eShop only.
Yeah, of course it will be.
I don't know. They got out in front of this one pretty hard. This seems like something that would get a card release, especially since apparently Nintendo doesn't do custom Robo anymore. This is sort of the next best thing for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games is also confirmed for North America after its reveal yesterday in the Japanese Nintendo Direct.
I bet it's going to suck.
I bet it's going to be slightly below average to very below average like the other Mario and Sonic games.
Yeah.
Apparently the London game was good, but Sochi, not really.
The first game I ever reviewed for Nintendo World Report was Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games on 3DS, and I think I gave it a 6.5. Yeah, it was all right. I kind of want to go back to it and see how I feel. I remember it being a competent minigame collection.
I'm intrigued by how they're doing the rugby because that's the new exclusive sport for the Wii U. But the main thing I want from that game, aside from amiibo line so I can burn all the bad amiibos, is the soundtrack, because mixing up Mario and Sonic music with that Brazilian style, that could produce some really
that could be
cuts.
good.
Yeah, that would be real neat.
Did they play rugby up in Canada, Donald?
A little bit. I think we did qualify for this tournament. I have to.
Oh.
The thing I always hate. What were you saying?
I was just saying we qualified for the last few Rugby World Cups, so I'm assuming there is enough of a background there to keep it going.
Nice.
The thing that always sucks about Mario and Sonic is that they always show trailers that look really appealing from a distance until you actually play the game. Like this year, they got the Golf exclusive to the 3DS version, and it looks like Mario Golf. It looks really fun, pitting Mario and Sonic against each other. I bet it's gonna be bunk by the time it actually comes out.
Have I just been unaware that golf is an Olympic sport?
It hasn't been for a very long time.
Yeah,
Wow.
the last time it was in the Olympics was 1904. So
Oh my God.
So it's coming back after, I think they said in the direct, 112 years.
Wow.
But the one problem I have with these Summer Olympic Games is Mario somehow beating Sonic in a foot race. That doesn't make any sense.
No, not really.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. And then the final big reveal, which isn't necessarily as big of a reveal because we kind of talked about it on Nintendo News Report a few days ago, is that Bravely Default, Bravely Second End Layer, is coming to North America and Europe in 2016, at the same year the Fire Emblem game is coming.
I did not think they could make the title any stupider, but they did.
Which is crazy because they're trying to sell this as more appealing for a wide audience than the last Bravely Default game, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
This game is definitely going to sell less than the first Bravely Default. There is no way it sells more unless Nintendo does an amazing job of selling it.
Yeah, but we know they're publishing it, but I wonder if this sort of clears the track for Square Enix to actually do something with another RPG that they showed off yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Quest VIII.
Okay, yeah, we're talking Dragon Quest VIII.
Oh, man.
Because, remember, Square has an E3 conference this year. It's right after Nintendo's, but if they want to push Dragon Quest Heroes, it would help to have an actual RPG to go with. And since 7 is a no-go, and they can drop a lot of 8's localization from the PS2 into this game, I'd say at this point 7 is no chance in hell, but 8, maybe. If the well hasn't been poisoned for Dragon Quest in the West already.
Yeah.
I'd rebuy it. That's my favorite Dragon Quest game. It's so damn good.
It's hard to say Dragon Quest is completely dead in the West.
But they lock out the 3D. There's no 3D effect in Dragon Quest VIII 3DS. You can safely play it on your 2DS.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it will come at the square tax of $50.
Isn't that the Atlas tax? Does Square charge $50 for their handheld games?
I don't think
charges. So. No, they don't.
No, that's an Atlas thing.
Yeah, Square hasn't done an overpriced release. I think the last thing I bought for them that was $50 was Chrono Trigger, and that was back in the DS days when the Square tax went $40.
Okay, I seem to recall paying about that much for Dragon Quest IX too.
And then, speaking of Japanese games, a new trailer was announced and revealed for Project Treasure, similar to the one shown in yesterday's Nintendo Direct. Zach, I saw you talking to someone on Twitter about this, and you seemed excited and then not excited.
Yeah, I watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, this looks like Resident Evil 5 with swords. And then Mike said, and it's free to play, and I thought, well, I'll never fucking play it.
You know what? There are some good free-to-play games on Nintendo systems.
No.
Pokemon Shuffle is a fine video game. Okay, you win. You win.
If I need a match 3 game RPG, I'll play Puzzle and Dragons, which includes 2 games for the price of 1, and you don't have to pay for shit after you turn it on.
I still need to get that. I'm still waiting for a couple Best Buy reward certificates, but
and it looks like they're putting out weekly online content for it, which is odd to me. What are they going to put in? What are they going to do? Just give you items or quests or you don't need?
So the way Puzzle and Dragons works on the mobile phone game is that there is a standard set of dungeons that everyone gets when they play Puzzle & Dragons on mobile, similar to the same way you have a standard quest in Puzzle & Dragons Z. The other side of Puzzle & Dragons is this constantly rotating array of dungeons with unique monsters that you can get that are, I would say, generally built for the more experienced players, of which there are many on Puzzle & Dragons. The way it seems like this is going to work is that Mario's going to remain untouched, but for Z, they're going to be adding new dungeons that will allow you to get more powerful monsters.
Okay. So optional dungeons.
Optional. It's free DLC. DLC. Yeah.
That reminds me, I should go grab that.
Oh yeah, you have that game. Are you still enjoying it?
Oh yeah, although I did have my mind blown when I found out there was a second quest in both the Mario and the Puzzle and Dragon Z versions.
Yeah,
really, both of them.
I covered my ears when that came up. I heard that there was a certain Mario princess, not princess, who always shows up in the second quest of every single Mario game nowadays. But other than that, I just know that there's 8 more worlds, which is cool.
I look forward to playing with Best Princess at some point.
Yep, me too.
Okay. And then Art Academy Atelier will release in North America as Art Academy Home Studio, which is a much better title, on June 25th. It's going to be eShop only $29.99, right? $29.99, and then you can get $4 off with the if you bought Sketchpad, which is cool because it's kind of like you just got Sketchpad for free.
True.
That's nice. Oh, if that's still available, like, and you're looking forward to this game, you should probably just get Art Academy Sketchpad, because in the long run, you're going to be spending the exact same amount of money. I'm not 100% sure if it's still available, though.
It's still available, although I freely admit that I got that with PvP credit back when that was around.
Yeah. Who did?
Nice.
Yeah, that's neat. This seems like the kind of announcement that Nintendo just forgot to tell America about. Like, it was just sitting on the back burner for a while, and then they just went, "Oh, wait, we can give them this."
Yeah,
And
because
that's how it got announced.
it's not getting a retail release, which it does have in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm surprised that they didn't do that, but I guess they want to keep the retail track free for Splatoon to keep going because it's $60 here, so it's still a pretty big proposition for them, especially if they're dropping content like just happened as we went on the air here.
Speaking of,
Mm-hmm.
Splatoon's getting a new map, a new weapon based on the old NES light gun, the Zapper, and it's also getting the ranked battles have unlocked as of today, I guess.
As of about 30 minutes ago, yeah.
But you can't access them until you hit level 10.
By the way, thank you so much.
I'm not there yet.
Thank you so much for everyone who is watching this live instead of playing Splatoon. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And you know what? If you're one of the people who watches this or listens to this after the fact, I still love you. I just love the people watching this, especially so for this exact moment. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's so cool. I am so close to buying Splatoon. I kept saying I would wait for it to hit $20, but you know what? When I realized and did the math in my head that this is from the makers of Animal Crossing, but their new franchise, I kind of felt a little more compelled to get it. Like, they could have, if they were any other publisher, they would have put a sticker on the box that says from the makers of Animal Crossing. And it's beautiful that they have the restraint not to do that, but I kind of would have been more.
Because that would be a turnoff to your average consumer. They'd be like, "What is Animal Crossing?" But also, I didn't know that, Alex. So all the clothing options that are in the game make so much more sense now that you say that.
And the Babble Talk.
Yeah, I so cannot wait for a week from Thursday because that's when I'll finally have put enough money aside to be able to get this.
Nice.
I'm probably going digital for it just because even with the Canadian tax, it'll still be cheaper for me to do it digitally.
Yeah, I did. I did because of all the updates. I just know it's going to take up a lot of space on my hard drive either way.
Yeah, I'm probably going to backpedal and get it sooner. This is such a perfect game for summer. Like, as much as I don't want to admit it, the game looks like summer. It sounds like summer.
It does.
This is the perfect time for it. I also got Witcher 3 I'm working on, so I got to beat that first.
Yeah, I heard about that on P1 Podcast, you dog.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good game, man.
It's a huge-ass RPG. If any of you Nintendo fans watching this have another console, I wholeheartedly recommend it. You can hear me talk about it a little more on Player One Podcast. That's all I'm going to talk about Witcher 3. Moving on, Nintendo World Championships. Zelda U confirmed as appearing at... No, not really.
No.
Nintendo World Championships, what they did announce is that, like, they were talking about one of the games that would be appearing, and they said it's a secret to everybody, confirming that the original Legend of Zelda on NES is going to appear at the Nintendo World Championships, which is happening on June 14th, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. There has been no direct confirmation that Zelda U is appearing at the Nintendo World Championships. That would be insane, and I 20% think it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen.
The only Zelda Wii U you're going to get is the fact that they're going to be playing a virtual console version of Legend of Zelda. That's about it.
Right.
Yeah. What controller do you think they're going to make them play on?
Sideways Wiimote.
Yes. Of course. Of course.
I bet they'll have original NES controllers. I think they have to do that because of the audience they're appealing to here.
Is it going to be like who can get through the first dungeon the fastest?
It's got to be a speed trial, unless they actually modified something themselves, which would be wild.
Like a race to 255 rupees?
Just
keep
entering and exiting the same screen over and over and over again.
So one of the interesting things about this is that Bill Trinan said specifically that the E3 conference, if it wasn't clear before, is going to be for games specifically that are launching in 2015 and early 2016. And he did one of these faces, like early 2016, kind of, sort of, maybe.
Those are the games that will be pushed back to late 2016 later on.
Early 2016. Yeah, and then Zelda, it sounds like, is not nearly slated for early 2016.
No.
That is holiday, but I think I'm actually more curious to see what the late May game is going to be this year, because I don't think we know what it is. Like, we don't know if that game even exists yet, as far as we know.
The late May 2016 game?
The one that gets in that Mario Kart Splatoon spot, which means it gets in an
That's going to be announced at this. If Nintendo's patterns are anything to go off of, Mario Kart 8 was fully revealed as Mario Kart 8 at E3 2013. Even though it was teased as a Mario Kart game earlier in the year, it was officially fully revealed at E3 2013. Splatoon was revealed for the first time at E3 2014. So I think something's going to be announced at E3 2015 that will come out in that May slot that we do not know about yet.
Animal Crossing Big Wide World.
Big Wide World.
Where everybody's got their own town, but you can go to anyone else's town all the time.
I figured that one would be, if they're going to do Animal Crossing U, I figured that would be this year to have sort of a counterbalance with Xenoblade.
It has to be.
But they already have Design Your House this year.
But that's going to be in July in Japan. And Animal Crossing has always before come out in Japan first. Which means if this is connected to Animal Crossing U, and why wouldn't it be, Animal Crossing U coming out 3 months after Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer makes a whole buttload of sense.
I'm going to blow your mind right now.
Mm.
What if they positioned Design Your House, or whatever the fuck it's called, Happy Home Designer, as the kind of handheld mobile app for Animal Crossing U? You design your shit in Happy Home Designer and then import it into U somehow.
I bet that would be a feature for after you beat the game or after you fully pay off your house. Because I feel like it would break the game if you could get a full design as soon as you turn on your game. In a game that's already intended to be easy. I think it's a cool idea, though, and I think especially if it's like the designs you get with your NFC cards, because that's already something you're paying for, and they probably want you to get the most mileage out of that possible. That makes a lot of sense. Speaking of which, they detailed how the Nintendo Direct, or how Happy Home Designer's cards are going to work. It's 3 to a pack, and those are 300 yen. Probably $3 in America, probably $60 in Canada. Standard stuff. That's an okay price, especially if there's cool stuff. I hope there's really cool stuff like there was on the Animal Crossing e-reader cards, like how you could get NES stuff. That was real neat. We're not getting that in this game, but I hope we get something equally as cool.
The main thing that comes with Happy Home Designer for me, because I'll be honest, I don't really care about Animal Crossing in general, but the fact that the bundle in Japan is going to come with that NFC reader for the older model 3DS family members, so you can start to do things like put your amiibos into Smash if you don't have a new 3DS.
Yeah. That's definitely what this is paving the way for. I think the pricing structure for this is so interesting, too, because Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer by itself is being sold for 4,000 yen, meaning that even though that is slightly cheaper than a lot of 3DS games are in Japan, that's still full-priced by American standards.
That's because full price in Japan for a standard game is 4,800, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was 4,800.
And then 4,000 is the equivalent of a Puzzle and Dragons combo pack price.
Oh,
so it's discounted, but it's not as discounted as I thought it would be, because I honestly thought this thing would be free, and you would need the cards to do anything with it.
Yeah, me too.
I think it's great that it's not, though. I think it's great that it's a full title, or at least trying to be. If I remember right, Animal Crossing New Leaf was sold for $34.99 in North America when it came out. It was at a slightly discounted price. Yeah, this will probably be that. This will probably be $29.99. I hope it's a full game. It seems like there's some ability to walk around in the game as you would in a typical Animal Crossing title. I'll probably get it if it's amazing. I don't know. Let me see. We got a few more announcements tonight. We already talked about Splatoon. That stuff's cool. Donald Terrio, please tell me about Pokemon Ami and Fire Emblem If.
Okay. They have announced for Fire Emblem If that aside from support for the amiibo back there, they're also going to have base building. So you can walk around, have interactions with your people outside in a base. A little bit expanded version of what they had in Awakening. Except they've also included a mini game where you are actually rubbing the heads of your Fire Emblem characters, both genders, male and female.
All right.
And
only the head?
As far as we know, because I think if we went any deeper than that, we'd be looking at like an M rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
not Sinran.
Yeah, the wars have already begun over what's going to happen with this game. I'm already seeing the sea of bans on a prominent internet message board over it. But yeah, as sort of a new Fire Emblem fan, I'm interested in base building to see how that affects the interactions and the support conversations with the characters. I have used Pokemon Ami exactly once, and that was because they tied Sylveon's evolution to it, and I needed a full Pokedex.
Yep.
So unless this is tied to a major mechanic, I'm probably not going to do that sort of thing, and if I do, I'm doing it while holding my nose. Because I know that the whole point of Fire Emblem having this relationship system is you sort of ship yourself with the character, but I don't know if I want to play that way or just set up my character to be Inara from Firefly and just play her as a total ethical slut. That's the thing.
Hopefully this comes to America in full, and hopefully it fits in charmingly with the game. That did just remind me, though, of how crazy a lot of the evolution methods were in Pokemon X and Y. Like, I think the fossil Pokemon evolved at, like, level 58 or 52 or something wild.
It was, the fossils evolved at 39, but they evolved at different times of day. But...
Okay, so that's why my Brontosaurus Aurorus evolved at 52.
Yeah, but I don't know if the craziest one is the one that has to evolve where it's actually raining for Sliggoo, or the one where you literally have to turn the 3DS upside down.
Yes, Malamar. That's the one I wanted to talk about, where it has to be. You have to physically turn your 3DS over when it levels up.
So
I want to look at...
If the next system doesn't have gyro, are we screwed?
It'll have gyro. I think gyro is becoming less expensive as a feature. It's got to be, especially since it's been standardized for at least the last 10 years, pretty much. I think 3DS is the bigger, or 3D is the thing we're gonna have to worry about more than gyro being in the next
it's going away. They're killing that.
I hope not. I hope not. Or I hope like the trade-off is they take away 3D, but games look way better than they did on the 3DS.
Yeah, like I just bought Monster Hunter 4 yesterday for $20 at Target, and I turned it on. And I thought this game looks like shit. It's a shitty-looking game.
It's a wonderful game.
But good lord, it's terrible looking. And let's get an HD Vita-E screen on the next 3DS.
Right. Yes. I want the best-looking Monster Hunter possible. Although Monster Hunter has never been a stunner as far as visuals are concerned.
But it could be. Look at the monsters. Just make it good.
I'm trying to segue, Zach. I'm trying to segue.
Sorry, God.
You brought up Monster Hunter 4, and that's perfect timing because we have our final discussion point of the night. Monster Hunter games coming to 3DS in Japan.
Right.
Monster Hunter X Ultimate. It's just called. Is it called Monster Hunter X Ultimate in Japan?
It's Monster Hunter Cross because of the whole X equals cross thing.
Right, Monster Hunter Cross, but it's Monster Hunter Cross Ultimate or Monster Hunter Cross?
Just Monster Hunter Cross, and
okay.
And I think this might be the one for Zach because it sounds like it's more of a character action game instead of an RPG.
Excellent.
With all of the classic monsters from Monster Hunter. So basically, you're going to get to kill a lot of dinosaurs.
Nice. I'll play that shit.
I'm really interested in seeing what you think of Monster Hunter, Zach, when the time comes and you actually try some time into it.
Dude, I've tried to play Freedom Unite, and I tried to play 3 on the Wii, and I tried to play 3U on the Wii U, and I keep trying to love it, man, but man, it's a time it's
this one's
time sink.
Zach, what you need are 2 people who are willing to carry you through the early part of the game. That's my forum title right now, is because my roommate and his brother have basically carried me into enjoying this game.
All right, that's what I need then.
So I know sounds like between myself, Neil, and Alex, we can probably pull this off.
Yeah.
Right, good.
Nintendo World Report and the quest to get Zach to like Monster Hunter.
Yeah, amen.
Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is easier than other Monster Hunter games, and it has an amazingly well-designed tutorial. It takes a while, like I think the tutorial is indirectly 5 to 10 hours of the game, but it doesn't feel like a tutorial, and it's just like a very natural progression that teaches you all of the systems of the game properly. And it's one of those things where once you learn how to play Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate fully, which is a way more accessible game than the previous one, you can actually retroactively go back and play the earlier ones.
Oh, cool.
And Zach, do you have a new 3DS?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
stick moves the camera, baby. I love it.
Yeah, because I remember playing the demo on a 2DS, and I did think it looked like butt, but I got used to it with the new 3DS, and right now it's my game of the year.
Damn.
Yeah. It's actually mine too. I didn't want to say it so early, but we were talking about it. Yeah, it's probably my favorite so far. Which is 5 months in. There's always room for that to change, but
it's
Monster Hunter Ultimate. I played 70 hours of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Lord.
You know what? It's a great game. And then the other one, the dream collaboration you have always wanted, aka I have always wanted. Monster Hunter's team at Capcom and From Software.
Oh, Jesus.
Imagine the equation.
This is where I tune out.
The developer of Armored Core, it was Armored Core, right?
Yeah.
It was, and Dark Souls and Bloodborne plus Monster Hunter.
And
you know what you get? Animal Crossing! Hooray! Animal Crossing!
Starring cats! Because that's what the internet needs, more cats.
The internet is made of cats.
I thought that was porn.
It's slowly overtaking porn. The catification
and it's also
porn.
like either a sequel or an expanded port of a PSP game coming to 3DS. It's... I'm so sad, Donald. I'm so sad.
Donald, porn's already got a lot of pussy.
Good night, everybody.
Yep.
That's our show for this week. Thanks so much for joining, guys.
Oh, man.
Zach wins this episode. You can find him on Twitter at ZMILLER1902, ZMiller1902.
Right there.
You can find Donald Terrio at DonTerrio. ALD Donald, just as the typical name is spelled, MICK, or for his podcast at NFR Podcast. You can find me at CULAFIA. You can see this show every week, typically Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time is the time we're going with now. You can see that live. We're going to have so much great stuff at E3, and then when there's a Nintendo Direct, you can be sure that we're going to do one of these the night of, if not as soon as possible after. So follow us all. Have a beautiful night. I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.